bless the situation. So you got to just have a praise party. And sometimes you got to do it by yourself because some people just, they can't, they not praising with you. They just complaining. But you don't have time for that. But brothers and sisters, I promise you, we are celebrating fathers, dispelling the myth of absentee fathers. And I am so excited once again to have this brother back on the platform. Like I tell you, I think if I took a vacation, he could just fill in for me. Like we wouldn't miss a beat because he knows what to do. He probably knows what buttons to push, all that stuff. But I am now on Facebook Live and I am on YouTube. So, hey, continue to listen or feel free to watch us. You are free to just watch the conversation because, that's how we do it now. That's how we do it now, y'all. So without further ado, I have to give this brother a proper introduction. We don't bring people into the Dr. Don Radio Show raggedy any kind of way. We don't make you sit on the plastic couch like grandma used to. We make you feel comfortable, and I am so excited to have back on the Dr. Don platform. And we know he better be having a good Father's Day this Sunday. That's all I gotta say. Right, Sax Man?
You know it.
Yeah, he will, and I'm sure because he has some wonderful, wonderful children just doing awesome things. But oh, hold on. That's somebody trying to talk over me. That's not going to happen. But anyway, y'all, when you're pushing buttons and you're doing a million things, it just happens. I'm telling y'all have no idea. Be Dr. Don is it's by the grace of God. That's all I have to say, that we have to calm ourselves because I'm doing a lot of things and wearing a lot of hats, but I love being here. But anyway, let me give this brother a proper introduction. He's no stranger to the Dr. Don Radio Show. Edmond Baker Jr., a.k.a. Uptown Sax Man. He is the founder of Four Single Fathers. He is a minister, counselor, and certified mediator. Welcome back to the Dr. Don Radio Show. Sax Man, how are you, brother?
I'm doing terrific. Glad to be on the show again.
Terrific. I love that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my goodness, how has your week been so far?
So far, so good. Had a gig, a pre-Juneteenth celebration gig in Galveston yesterday. I took my girls with me. We had a good time out there on the beach.
Okay. And that's how you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
That's how you got to do it. But I tell you, Sax Man, when we are talking about dispelling the myth of absentee fathers, you got a testimony, right?
Right.
You got a testimony. So I want you, for those who may not know your testimony, may not know your story, share a little bit briefly with us what led you to being a single father.
Okay. Well, briefly stating, I had my first wife. She decided she didn't want to be married anymore after our son was 6 months old. And second time I got married, I had a wife decide she didn't want to be together no more after our daughters were 6 and 8. And both times I was like, I can't, make your decisions for you, but whatever you want to do, you can do it on your own because me and the children ain't going to be no part of it. So
right.
That's kind of like the stance I took, it's like, hey, I can't stop you from doing what you want to do, but when it comes to the kids, I got a little say-so about that.
Right. So she wanted to take the kids with her?
Yeah, both times, both of my exes. Yeah,
okay.
they at first, it was, using the children as pawns, that's typical, so that was the plan at first, to kind of use them to get pity and help and, and to try to make me look like I'm a deadbeat and all that stuff, but when it all boiled down, I ended up being the primary, residence for my children. So that's that. Been 11 years now, the second time that I've been a single parent. I was a single parent twice, so been 11 years the second time.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I think, on the outside looking in, right? It was a lot of comments last time from women, from the sisters saying, because you talked about how she was falsifying the taxes, getting the tax money, all
Yeah,
of that. And
yeah.
people were like, you need to do something about that. And how did you end up picking her? You picked the wrong woman, all of that. So give us, because on the outside looking in, because even me, I have questions, because one of the
Yeah,
questions I think I asked, did you pray
yeah.
before you said, yeah, all of this. So
Uh,
just talk a little bit about the comments that you got
uh.
last time. How did it make you feel?
Well. Like you said, when you're on the outside looking in, it's easy to try to analyze and dissect, and try to give the remedy and the
Yeah,
prerequisite of, it's easy, but when you in a relationship, everybody can relate. Sometimes even if you see warning signals and you think you're in love, it don't matter,
yeah,
you know and so also, um like I was saying last time too, I knew both of them. I knew my first wife, and I knew my second, and we already knew each other growing up and stuff, so it wasn't like we were strangers.
right,
And we all grew up in church, and we
yeah,
all grew up with them singing in the choir and on the praise and worship team, so it wasn't like, you know I was looking for one out there in the streets. We was in church,
oh yeah,
you know
yeah. And you knew them for years.
yeah, been knowing them for a long time.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and, and so it wasn't like, you know uh it started off on the wrong foot. Everything was great at first. It's like something switched, in
mm,
them. And it mostly happened when the children, I guess it came about both times, when the children were still small. I don't know. All I can speculate is the influences. They had negative influences speaking in their ears, because like some of the family members, like the female family members, like sisters and moms, and aunts and stuff, was still single, and
ah,
making them look like, I guess, feel like they missing out on something. I don't know, because I can't speak for them. All I know is at first everything was great, and
yeah,
then stuff just started taking a turn for the worse.
yeah. Because I think it's interesting, right? Because both of them they left after the children were born, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then things changed. Did they really want children? Yeah. Because did you all talk about that before you all got married?
No, because like with a lot of marriages, you know, not saying that everybody just do it the same way, but for the most part, I don't know a whole lot of couples that sit there and write down a strategy of when they're gonna have their children.
Yeah.
You end up pregnant, and you be like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
pregnant, and you happy, and oh yeah, and then next thing you preparing for the family, and to have a child, and like I said, in my mind, I'm thinking this is the time to settle, and be more mature, and be more responsible, and start thinking about the children, the kids, that kind of stuff. But it was just the opposite, seeming like with them,
Yeah.
and I'm not, I mean, it's just like I said, I can't really, I'm not in their head, so I don't know, where the change happened. I just know at one while it was like, nobody perfect, but at one while it was like we were the perfect little young blend, young family, because with my son, uh he was the first, born with my first wife. That was our first child together,
Yeah.
and so when he was born, I was just excited.
Yeah.
and so I was just thinking that, we getting ready to start our little family, and we had been married, I think, like 6 years, 5 years around that
Wow.
time. And so it was a while before we had a child together. And so once he was born, I'm thinking that, okay, everything, good. And but it was like I said, when he got about 6 months old, I'll never forget, it was like 6 months. It was like all of a sudden she didn't want to be married no more,
Wow.
and she just started hanging out with her single relatives and single friends, and I'm like, like, what you doing? Like, you can't take him, out, like you can't just put him in your pocket or put him in your purse and
Right.
take him, where you going. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
that's when I started keeping him, and basically, taking care of him before we even split up. And once she, decided she didn't want to be no wife, that was basically it. She decided she didn't want to be a wife no more. But now we got a child together. So just because you don't want to be a wife, now what you gonna do about our son?
Yeah.
And,
But you know what? Every woman doesn't, because I know couples, they love each other, but they decided we don't want kids. They had the
mm-hmm,
conversation, and it was clearly like, I don't want kids. I don't want kids. And I think part of this, right? And I'm not trying to have love lounge conversation, but we really are.
mm-hmm,
We cannot assume that the other party, that your partner, life partner, the person you're going to marry is automatically going to be okay with having kids. That's why we have to be honest and say, no, kids are not my thing.
yeah,
I'd be a great bonus mom or whatever, but I don't want kids. Or, Sax man, that's when men need to say, do you want children?
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you want children?
yeah,
Because it seemed
yeah.
like both of them, from what you said, after the child was born, they were like, I can't, you know.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was like it was too much responsibility.
Mm,
It was like I was like all in. Whatever I had to sacrifice, whatever I had to do without, whatever, I was like, well, that's what we do as parents.
yeah.
But you know it was like they felt, like it was like they was losing out or missing out on something. Now that's
Mm,
kind of the attitude I picked up. Whether that was it or not, that's what I started seeing and started feeling like. The children making them miss out.
yeah. Yeah. And I think in the scripture I read to people, because, before the show, I was encouraging, because Father's Day weekend is not a happy time for a lot of people, right?
True,
Sometimes
true,
their dad wasn't there. Or if the dad
true.
was there, he wasn't a good father.
Mhm,
Maybe he was a father who was he was a broken father, right?
mhm,
Um, so Father's Day is not a happy time. Or there are men out there who don't have a relationship with their children.
mhm.
They don't talk to their kids. They don't have a relationship with their kids. And I was encouraging people with the scripture, Sax man, we're all accountable. Parents are accountable. We're accountable, right? Because I read 1 Timothy 5:8, and I want to know what you think about this. And I'm going to read New Living Translation, and it
Mhm.
says, but those who won't care for their relatives, especially those in their own household, have denied the true faith. Such people are worse than unbelievers. Now,
Mhm.
some scriptures, some translations refer to him as the male, right? But some
Uh-huh.
versions, anyone who does not provide for their own, for his own. Anyone, everyone should provide for their own relatives. Most of all, everyone should take care of their own. So
Yeah.
when we see that scripture, Sax man, when we read that, they're going to be held accountable for walking away, right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
so what do you have to say to that? What keeps you from being in a place of bitterness?
Well, well, I know, number one, that um it's so much it's a lot of pride and egos involved, because it's like it's like it's personality traits, but it's also spiritual too. And it's like
Yes.
anytime admit that you made a mistake or did something wrong, and you just keep digging your ditch deeper and deeper and deeper, and
Yeah.
you just keep wallowing in the mud, even when you see
Ooh,
you
say that.
making your life more miserable, from your choices and stuff. It's like they just have too much pride to make things right. They just
Yeah.
they just rather stay in that predicament, and stay in that and pretend like they so happy and so in love now, and
Mm.
so life is so great when they miserable, you know.
Yeah. Because
But
you can't have peace. You cannot have
that's
peace. And I'm just speaking for me. Walking away from your family, walking away from your husband, walking away from your children, and you're just okay. Stealing lying on tax records. There's a lack of, you're right, spiritual. Where is God in your life for you to be doing all
yeah,
that? There is no peace.
yeah,
There is no peace.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what, and that's the thing that's really mind boggling to me, because, like I say, doing all of that on like basically stealing money from me every year,
Yeah.
and
The
knowing
kids.
that knowing you don't have the kids primarily, but you still filing them on your taxes when they with me 85% of the time, and
Yeah.
and then when I like confront her or discuss it with her, then she just make excuses and stuff like she deserve it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's just it's unbelievable, because with our two daughters, I'm like, okay, well, you claim one and I claim the other, or you claim both of them this year and I claim both of them next year, stuff like that. But it's never that. She claim them both every single year.
Mm. But
and,
but that
and,
that and you're right. You can't have, you have to pray for those people, and I'm sure it's hard, right? I'm sure
mm-hmm,
you don't want. There are times when you like, I really don't want to pray for her, but you have to pray for
yeah,
her deliverance, because if
you
you're
have
doing
to.
that, come on. Now those women
Yeah.
we see in the pictures with you and your kids, is that their mother?
Yeah, to like for graduation and stuff.
Okay.
We all, was trying to, be mature and for the kids and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm glad, anytime it's any kind of peace or anything positive, I'm all for it,
Yeah. Yeah.
But if the shoe was on the other foot, it wouldn't be like that,
Oh yeah.
and that's why I'm glad, God gave me the primary custody, because if the shoe was on the other foot, it wouldn't be these moments like this. I would be kind of like uh, alienated from my children if it was up to
Mm.
her.
Wow.
but I never have stopped her, ever. Anytime the
Yeah.
children want to be with her, they can be with her. It don't matter how much of a negative influence I believe she is. I still have never stopped them, from wanting to go or hang out with their mom, be with their mom, stay with their mom, whatever. But if just like I said, if the shoe was on the other foot, it wouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Because for a season, well, when it had first happened with my second wife, when it had first happened, uh, like when the girls were 6 and 8, she did have them, just as much as I did at first, and I saw, what happened, because she, like, just something as simple as them having cell phones. Like, whenever they came with me, they had to leave their cell phones over there. They couldn't even bring their cell phones,
Oh wow.
because she didn't even, because if she was gonna pay the bill, they can leave them there until they come back with her.
Wow.
Even if they needed their cell phones to text or call us, emergencies or something, she didn't care. She was like,
Mm.
"Well, no, y'all can't take y'all phones." So I had to buy separate phones when they with me. So that kind of foolishness.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
It was just,
yeah. I mean, when we hear things like that, when you see things like that going on, clearly, you got to pray for them. It's some deliverance that needs to be taking place. But for you,
yeah,
right? Because sometimes it can be like, okay, what is the blessing in this? What is the blessing? What blessing do you see in this situation? How, what do you see God doing in your life? What has been the
mhm,
blessing that you have seen on the other side of this? this being, a single father?
Okay. Well, one thing I always believe that whatever the devil means for evil, God turn around for the good.
Mm,
And so I always try to look at the positive in every single thing, and keep my heart and my mind pure. As long as I
yeah.
do that, that anybody else, whatever they do, that's on them. But also, I always want to be a positive example, in front of my children.
Mm,
That they can't say not one time since they've been born, that I've been a negative influence or a negative example to them.
yeah.
And that's how I want to keep it. I don't want them to ever, you know, make the excuse that both of us, was bad examples.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
right?
make them feel like they don't have no hope. Nah, if nobody, is a good example, I have been, and that's what keep me motivated. Just always want them to have hope that it is possible. Even through all of this, that you can stay focused, and you don't have to lose faith. You don't have to uh uh stop following your dreams. You don't have to, it's like you can just keep on moving,
Mm,
and when they see my strength, because I'm strong spiritually, I tell everybody that's the
yeah,
only way how I've been able to make it, being
yeah,
strong spiritually. It's no other way around it. There's no other way around it,
yeah.
because mentally and physically, I mean, this stuff both times could have took me out,
Mm,
but my strength in God, my faith in God, in the Word, it just that's my foundation. And so that's what I tell everybody. But also, what I've learned too is, and it's like a twist to this story, because every time we come on here, it's basically uh, me giving my testimony as a single father.
yeah.
So I don't even get a chance to bring up uh, the flip side, because I've also been on the other side, because I have two older sons that's 30 and 29,
Okay.
and I've experienced that, like being the non-custodial parent too.
Wow.
And so that's why whenever I say what I say, I see it from both spectrums, because my two older sons, uh, they mama was the primary custodian, but they
Okay.
say custodian. I don't like to use that word, but they
Yeah, yeah,
mama,
yeah.
they live with their mama primarily,
Yeah,
and so with them, you know, they, I don't like to use the term good and bad, but they had a good mama.
yeah.
They had a really good mother, and she she wasn't somebody that I wanted to fight to get the custody of the kid, because I mean she was a good mom and she still is,
Yeah.
and even though they grown now, matter of fact, my oldest son, we just went to lunch today. He took me on an early
Okay.
Father's Day lunch,
Okay.
and we went to lunch today, and had a good long conversation, it's funny, I don't believe in coincidences, but like we were
Yeah.
talking about, the past, and and their lives, him and his brother's life, because they have the
Yeah.
same mom, and and we were talking about that, and then just about a week or so ago, I had lunch with my second oldest son, and because they came also to Brooklyn, my youngest daughter's graduation,
Okay.
and so we was all together and stuff, and like in the pictures and stuff. When you saw the pictures, that was all five of my children together,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and, and so it's like, I it ain't no excuse, because like I say, I've been on the other side of that, and I don't make no excuses for myself. I don't care how young I was and immature I was. If I wasn't there for my children, I didn't apologize to them numerous of times, for stuff, when I was in my 20s and stuff, because
Yeah.
I felt bad, that I wasn't there like I knew I should have been or could have been.
Ah.
And so that's why I know it's all a pride thing. It's all the ego thing. If you can't
Mm.
admit that you did wrong, even if it was 10 years ago,
Wow.
it's like you got to be able to come to grips one day that, hey, I need to make this right.
But you know what? That's powerful right there. Because I didn't know that, sex man, but it's good you admitted that and
Yep,
said that, because you said I know how I've been there where I wasn't there.
yep,
And so you really, in a way, you're not faulting the mother, because you've been in her situation. The
yep,
only thing is you had to get delivered, put the pride aside so you can get back in,
yep,
and be in your
yep,
children's life. Man,
yep,
that's powerful right there.
yep.
Wow. Wow,
And,
wow,
and I'm
wow. So
and
how's
I'm
the relationship with your older sons? It's good?
yeah.
Healing or what?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course. Once again, I'm not in their head, but
Yeah,
we've always been able to communicate, and express ourselves to one another, because I don't feel like they hold back whenever they share things with me and stuff.
that's good.
And I've always been open, to them too, and it's not like I was an absentee father. It was just, like I said, their mom raised them primarily,
Yeah.
and so that's what I'm saying. They didn't live with
Okay.
me. They
Okay.
didn't live with me, and so even though I wasn't they didn't live with me. I still, ever since they've been babies, we've been connected.
Okay.
It
So
just,
you were never an absentee father. It's just that you were not the custodial parent.
Yeah, yeah. I,
Okay.
I was never just absentee,
Gotcha.
but it was seasons, it was seasons where I wasn't around as much and stuff like that. But I've never just been completely out of their lives,
Right. That's
you know.
that's but that's good. I think we all, I mean, come on. If you, because I didn't even know that. So I'm glad that you admitted that, because but what I
Yeah,
like is that, because one of the things that I tell people, it is never too late.
yeah,
It is never too late to reconcile with your children.
true.
It is never too late to apologize for what you may have done. You
Yeah,
weren't the best father. It's time to step up, put the pride aside,
yeah,
get in repentance, restore that relationship, and it's forgiveness.
yeah,
It's forgiveness. Your boys forgave you. They said,
yeah,
and the mother as well.
yeah,
I also touched on women. You got to stop interfering.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, So I love that. Let me read some of the comments. She said, "You still your fatherly duties." Awesome. Hello, Miss Janice. How are you? I mean, that is true, sex man. And so
Hmm.
many men, because, okay, your organization for single fathers, right?
Yeah,
Do men ever come to you and say, "Hey, I really want a relationship with my children, but the mother is making it challenging"?
yes, a lot.
Yeah. Or we can't blame the mother, right? Sometime, have you put the pride aside and went to try to have a conversation with her and communicate, right?
Mhm.
So what are
Well,
you hearing from men?
the majority of the conversations I have with men is the mom being vindictive.
Mm,
Because I'm not saying that a lot of the men don't step up, but I'm just saying, with most of the conversations I have when the men come to me, it's the ones that want relationship with their children, but the mom making it difficult.
gotcha.
and,
Gotcha.
and, and like and I'm not talking about just uh saying they don't want them to see the child. They do everything in their power to keep them from them, that kind of
Mm,
stuff. Like even with the quote unquote visitations and stuff, when they supposed to have them this first, third, fifth weekend, stuff like that.
yeah.
They where they don't show up, or or like during the supposedly, like they call it, midweek visitation. I just
Yeah.
call it parent time. I don't say visitation
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
visit my children.
Yeah.
But like during the time you're supposed to have your children, the mom just know it's just for the weekend. So if they don't show up, what can you do? Because when you go Monday, if you try to go file in the courthouse and say that they was in contempt or something, violated the court order, what they gonna do? They already back, at their mom now, and the judge don't care, and so it's like one of them situations.
But see, that shows a flaw in the system. And but see, what's going to happen is what's going to happen is sometimes you're going to have to fight.
Yeah, and
you
I
can't,
did.
But you did, right?
Yeah.
So some of these men, okay, so if she doesn't drop those kids off like she's supposed to, that's when you need to go to court and say, Your Honor, I did not see my children. You see what I'm saying? You can't get tired.
Yeah.
You can't get tired. She's difficult. I'm just going to let it go. No. Be not weary in doing good. Okay, that's what the word tells us. In due time, your harvest will come, but I don't know if that's the right for this situation. But either way, the Lord will fight my battles.
Yeah.
The Lord will fight your battles. So you're going to have to fight for the relationship with your children. You're going to have to fight because when your kids get 18, 19, they're going to say, man, daddy fought for us. Mama was the one. You see what I'm saying? But if you just give up.
Yeah.
And again, Sax man, I'm on the outside looking in. It's easy for me to say what I would do if I'm not in that situation. But I'm just saying you're going to have to fight for your children.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, you're exactly right. But it's like the average man can't do what it takes when it gets to that extreme because, like, I'm self-employed. If I wasn't self-employed, I couldn't have done half of the stuff that I did, and I couldn't have tolerated half of the stuff that I tolerated if I had a 9-to-5 job. I had because my time would be so limited, and also the money, because it's like every time you go to court to file something, it ain't free, And so if they do that this week, then next weekend, then and they keep doing it after a while, they make it a burden, and it shouldn't be. But it's like, you should fight, but why should I have to?
But you're going to have to, and that's the thing. The enemy is putting another obstacle. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Are you gonna look for resources so you can pay for the court time, right? Pay for the attorney? Are you going to get a second job? When it comes to it, how bad do you want it? And again, I'm on the outside looking in, and I get what you're saying. But when your kids turn 16, you don't want them to think Daddy didn't care.
Yeah.
So you better fight. Those kids are gonna see it. That's all I'm saying. And maybe fighting is not the best word.
But I know what you're saying though. But see, also too, like I say, it's everything is about money, because the whole while they fighting, they still 9 times out of 10 paying child support too. So
which is more a reason why you need to go to court and say, I have not seen my children.
Well, I'm just saying they garnish the deadbeat dad. See, that's why that's a myth, because it's easy to get a good dad because he gonna be working, he gonna be doing what he's supposed to do, so you can just garnish his check and garnish his wage. It's easy to take his money. The deadbeat dad gonna be bobbing and weaving and moving and changing his job, that job, working for cash, just all that kind of stuff. But anytime it's a stable man that's serious about taking care of his children, and he have a mom, his children's mom that's not being cooperative, it makes it real hard. But also you have to even look at the criminal side, because I hardly ever brought that up. I don't even know if I ever brought it up, but when they get like that, they'll do whatever and say whatever to get you out of the picture.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I envisioned myself saying this, and I didn't know how this was gonna come up in the conversation. But you don't have to believe me, but I'm gonna tell you something.
Tell us.
When you see them Amber Alerts.
Yeah.
Do you know a lot of them? Not all of them, but do you know a lot of them Amber Alerts are false?
Hold on, because this is what I was thinking about these Amber Alerts. I said some of it is it really that the child's in danger, or are we dealing with a custody situation?
Yes.
And sometimes, and for all we know, it's some stuff going on in the home, and that parent is not a kidnapper or abducting the child. They just lost they lost themselves. They should have had the child back by 6, but they didn't, and they decided, well, I'm just going to do it my way. What I mean, that's good right there, because I have thought, are all of these Amber Alerts?
Because I'm gonna educate you on that there.
Okay.
Because I deal with that too with a lot of the fathers, because it's been situations right here in my own area where they put out Amber Alerts on men that I actually knew.
Oh wow.
And so whenever you see an Amber Alert, I'll tell you how you know if it's false or not.
How? Okay, sex man, how?
This is how you know if it's false or not. If they know the make, model, license plate number, color of the vehicle, where they at, is false. It's that daddy with that child. And it don't be no kidnapping. It, just like you said, it'd be a custody issue. And maybe they are fighting. Maybe they tired of not seeing their child on the weekend, or they tired of not getting them in the midweek like they supposed to. And so they get them, and then instead of, the mom knowing that's what done happened, they just, they have their time. That's a lot of it actually be during their time. It don't always be like over their time limit and stuff like that. Because like I say, I know some men in this area, and
Wow.
and they didn't even, they mamas didn't even, the mamas didn't even have the children. The children were staying with the grandmamas and stuff. And the daddy will get the child from the grandmama. And I'm just saying certain situations that I actually know. The
Right.
daddy will get the children from the grandmama, and the mama will find out.
Wow.
And then call kidnapping and all that stuff, and she wasn't even with the children.
And that's interesting. I'll need to look. And people are in no way are we saying Amber Alerts are not important. They're not telling that. That's not what we're saying. But we're saying there could be some cases where these Amber Alerts are really not the child being abducted. Maybe it's some vindictive behavior going on. But the authorities have to do their job, and they're like, okay, because better to be safe than sorry. But
that's what they say. But this is a real sensitive subject to me, because I have a friend that actually committed suicide over an Amber Alert.
Oh wow.
Because the cop was chasing him down, and he wouldn't harm a fly, and he had his child, and they like surrounded his house, and all he was trying to do was spend time with his daughter, and it was the first time he had did anything like this, but he had like got to a tipping point. He didn't know what else to do, and so he took her back to his house during the time, quote unquote, when he wasn't supposed to have her. And she called, kidnapping, and the cops came and surrounded his house, and he panicked. I don't know if he had any mental issues. I don't know what, but he took his own life.
Oh my
because
gosh.
he didn't know what the cops was gonna do.
Let's read Miss Janice's comment. She says a deadbeat man. This is what she says: is a man who works continuously, always worked with a good job, but once the wife wants a divorce, the dad stopped working, started receiving unemployment, don't get the kids on the weekend, nor help the mom financially to help the child's needs. Wow. And then she's got the sad face emoji. Yeah. But once the divorce, you just, you're not going to help the mom. You're not going to help the kid. This is a very interesting conversation, because Saxman, this totally is not going in the direction. But the thing is, this is what, the third, fourth time we've had you on here. We're not going to beat a dead horse and keep talking about the same thing we've been talking about. This is some information we need to know. And I'm glad the conversation. I love when the Lord just leads and we just let things happen organically. Because this is good. And the Amber Alert, man, that's something that's interesting. I want to, and let me tell you. So what do you say to people who, or let's talk about you for a minute, because here you are, single father, right? You have to raise your children. But how do you take care of your own emotional and mental? How do you take care of your emotional and mental well-being while ensuring your kids are cared for? Because the thing is, Brooklyn, is that her name? The little track star?
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Okay. Things seem good. Yes, she's a track star, but you can't tell me there's not some hurt and pain sometimes that
Yeah,
she deals with, right? And she
yeah.
sees mom and mom's at the graduation, but man, you're not there every day. So you can't tell me when the graduation's over, Brooklyn doesn't feel some kind of way, right?
Yeah,
And I can only
yeah.
imagine the hurt that you feel seeing that. The hurt you feel seeing that. And I'm glad, mom, you showed up to graduation.
Yeah.
Good. But Brooklyn is I'm sure dealing with some hurt. Um, you can't say it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So how do you take care of your own mental well-being while ensuring your children's well-being? Ensuring your children are in a good
Mhm.
place as well.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I spent, majority of my time making sure that they okay. Because I know I can't be there for them every step of the way. I can't, you know, uh, fix every problem. But at the same time, it's like Passion, my oldest daughter. She's 20 now,
Hmm.
and so she a little more independent now, and she got a part-time job. She going to school part-time, and but it's like you know it's basically what you're saying. It's like they mom still want to be a part-time mom.
Mm,
It's like just the good times. It ain't
mm.
during the trials and the tribulations. It's just the during the fun times, or during the time where she want to do something, or she want to take them somewhere, or she want to
It's on her
bring some.
terms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Everything is on her terms.
Mm.
And that's the thing that get me the most, because I'm a parent 100% of the time. I can't pick and choose when I want to be the parent.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I deal with the most, because it's hard, even raising them, because it's like they can, say I gotta discipline them or something, or say I gotta get on them about something. Well, they big now. They both drive. They both, they can just go to their moms and talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's hard. It's hard to even discipline them.
Mm.
Sometimes if they need correcting, or if they need, like if I need to get them a good lecture or whatever. It's like okay. After I say whatever I say, it can go through one and come out the other, because they know, they got the option.
Yeah.
Just going over to mom's, and she gonna be nice, and she gonna fix us some food, and she gonna let us go outside and just hang out and
Yeah.
enjoy the summer, out under the tree and shade, and just, it's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so that's my thing mentally. It's like that's the only thing, because me personally, it don't matter, because they don't make or break me. But
Yeah,
I
but
know.
you have to. What do you do to take care of your mental well-being, though? Do you have to take a break? Yeah, prayer, church, but what do you do to make sure you're in a good mental space? Because you taking care of them is what you do. But what when
Yeah.
Sax Man is about to, what do you do so you stay in a good place
Oh,
mentally and emotionally and
well, yeah,
spiritually?
yeah. I get out to myself and just get some peace,
Okay.
and I mean, I just live a life of praying and being in the Word.
Yeah.
That's just what I do. That's a part of me. Praying and fasting, and just having my spiritual time, and that's what keep me grounded,
Yeah.
because I have to have the Word, and I have to
Yeah.
pray, I have to fast, I have to get out to myself, like I guess my hobby, when people have hobbies and stuff, I guess if I say what my hobby is washing my cars.
Okay.
because I just go out there and just wipe my cars down and just pray, or I might have my Bible app just playing or something. I'm listening to the
Yeah.
Bible app, or I'm listening to some music while I'm just wiping my cars down, and I be out there by myself, just
And that's
in
good.
the yeah,
That's good. And for some people, it doesn't always have to be a vacation or whatever. Wiping your cars
yeah,
down, listening to gospel music, whatever. But
yeah,
I know I was like, there has to be something that you
yeah,
do to keep in a place of peace so you don't.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah, yeah,
and like with my girl, like I mean, we all like real close, and like we might, like, since it's the summertime and stuff now, like we might all just go to sleep laying on the sectional in the living room,
yeah,
just fall asleep watching TV or falling asleep, like we be watching Good Times and the
yeah, yeah,
old funny,
yeah.
good sitcoms and stuff. And,
Yeah,
and 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 that's my piece, when I can laugh with them and
yeah.
just unwind, and don't have to be worried about even like my gigs and stuff. Sometimes when I don't have no gigs, I'm glad, so I can just relax and focus, and just be to myself, because I like being to myself, because Jesus did that, and if he
Mm,
had to do it, we got to do it. Sometimes you got to break away from everybody and everything and just get off to yourself
that's
and just
good.
have some peace and some
That's
quiet
that's
time.
good. That's good. I like that because you do have to have your time. But I like
Yeah,
that it's the simple things, right? Because you're there laying with your kids, watching Good Times.
yeah,
And I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm not telling you, but I would assume sometimes you're like, it's all worth it.
yeah,
Sitting here laughing
yeah,
seeing my children laugh, seeing, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Those simple things. Sometimes
yeah,
you might sit back, Sax Man, and be like, man, man, look at Brooklyn laughing. This was, it's been tough at times, but man, just
yeah.
these simple moments with my daughters, with my man. Are you looking to get
Yeah.
married? Do you want to get married again? Because last time you
Ooh,
said, what did you say last time? She's gotta fall on my lap
I
or
say,
something like
I
that.
say, God got to bring her and put her on my lap
Mm.
personally. He got to come out of the sky and grab her and put her in my lap and say, "This the one."
But are you looking to get married? Has it affected you in moving forward in love? Because
Oh, well, it might be getting close for me to think about stuff like that, but up until this point, it's just been all my career and my kids.
yeah,
But now, Brooklyn the youngest, um, and she about to, to go out to Kansas in a couple months, and so it's like,
what's she
it's
going?
kind of,
Scholarship? Did she get a scholarship?
yeah, she got a full ride to Pitt State.
Amen. I mean,
Yeah,
what a blessing,
yeah, yeah, and,
man.
and and see, and the thing of it is, I mean, like, all five of my children are doing good,
Yeah,
and it's a blessing, and they not, out, I mean, every child, when they get to a certain point and a certain age, they got to make their own choices, whether it's good or bad. But up to this point, like, all five of my children, which ain't children no more, they ain't little kids, they my children, but they ain't little kids. They all doing great. They all, just, they have focus and they have purpose, and they understand, the things of God. They not worldly, so to speak.
yeah,
They just they just settle, you know not saying that, like I say, they 20, 30, 29, 25, 8, well, passing 20, and Brooklyn about to be 18 in July. So, they all at that age now of learning more, and being more accountable, for
yeah.
their actions. But up to this point, I look back and I just thank God that all five of them, they cool. Like, I can talk to any one of them, and we can have real, adult conversations, and we can be real with each other, and we can go to lunch or we can go to dinner or we can just come here and at home and hang out. Like after Brooklyn graduated, all five of my children was here, and we was here. We was up to like 3 in the morning. My three sons was making dinner, and they was all just in the kitchen working together,
Yeah.
cooking dinner, making something special, for Brooklyn graduation, the big brothers and stuff, and we was like up to 2, 3 in the morning, just eating and laughing and just hanging out,
Yeah.
and that's what I
Yeah.
love. That I love family. It's like, why have one if you ain't gonna?
Yeah. Yeah. But
And,
are you so? Are you looking to? Are you looking for a wife? Are you open? Are you open to getting married again?
I'm open.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
and that's it. You start there, right?
I'm open.
At least you haven't given up. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not looking, but I am open.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
He that findeth a wife, you never know. Right?
Yeah.
Because you never know what could happen. Maybe like you're at a restaurant, right? And this sister just trips and falls into your lap. I'm just saying that could be, right? Or you're playing at one of your events and this sister trips and falls and you catch her. You drop the saxophone and you catch her in your arms. I don't know, sex man, but I'm just saying, are you open?
My gig, I get it all the time in my gigs.
Oh, really?
Like, that's just come with the territory. I'm a professional saxophonist. I do corporate and private.
Oh, yes.
And so it's like at them events, it's always ladies there that flirt or, just whatever,
Yeah.
But I'm not, I don't play into none of that. I'm gonna be professional. I'm gonna laugh and joke, and if they want to hug, take pictures, stuff like that. I don't care. But as far as me, looking at one of them to be my wife, no, not that.
Yeah, and that's not what I'm talking about. I was totally kidding. But Miss Janice, Miss Janice findeth a good thing. So he will find you, ladies. But that's another show for another time, sex man. We talked
he
about
who findeth a true wife, a real wife, not just any woman now.
Yeah. I mean, look. And Miss Janice, she says, you can serenade me anytime. Hey, that's what I like. But look, I think I just, as long as you're open.
Yeah.
That's it. And God, in God's time.
Yeah.
In God's time and when you're ready. But I just encourage people, and myself included, right? We cannot let the past dictate. I believe there is whatever you want, pray for it. But we also have to prepare ourselves for it as well, right? So I believe, sex man, so you're open. So that's the good thing. Final question before we end this segment. What do you tell your children? What is your response to your kids when they've asked you in the past, and still may, I don't know, when they say, Dad, what was it that Mom left? Why? What was it that Mom left? How have you responded to that? Or what is it that Mom only comes around sometimes? What is your response to your children when they've asked you that?
Well, they haven't ever asked me that.
Oh, okay.
Now my middle son, like from my first marriage, now that was a little more what's the word? That situation was like, he would, if anybody would ask that, it would have been him, because his mama really did disappear.
Okay.
Like for a while, and then even to this day, she is like, it ain't no relationship with them. They don't have no relationship. And so with him, he never asked that, but if anybody would have had that in the back of their mind, it would have been him.
Yeah.
But he never asked why she didn't come around. He just know now, since he an adult, he know that he not the problem. I think a lot of times he used to think, what did I do wrong? Or,
yeah.
But now he know he not the problem, because he's tried several times to make peace, and it always end up in disaster. Yeah.
And he had to release that burden, man, carrying that for so many years, and he's releasing that. We talked about a little bit about that last time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if he's in a place of he's in a he in a place of healing, continuing to heal?
Well, remember I told you too. He got a double whammy because remember I said my second wife raised him like her own when he was 3.
Yes. So
From the
imagine what
time he
that does. Yeah.
Yeah, from 3 to till he was 15. She was like he her son.
Yeah.
And so when she left me, she left him too, and I ain't said 2 words to him,
Mm,
And at the graduation, everything was good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we all got along, at the graduation, and even if it was superficial, even if it was just temporary, I'm just being honest. We all got along at the graduation that night, and it was a good feeling.
yeah. How old is that son, the one we're talking about?
He's 25 now. He'll be
Okay.
26 in July.
25, 26. Yeah. Miss Janice, that was her question. How old is he?
Yeah,
Man,
he's
man, man.
25.
Yeah. I'm sure you got to cover your children in prayer heavily,
Yeah, yeah,
heavily in prayer,
yeah.
because you
I
don't
do.
want that. You don't want him growing up being broken, bitter against women,
Yeah,
all of that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he have
Yeah.
issues that he don't even know he have because it's like when you grew up in that. I've been watching him since he was born,
Yeah.
and so I see some of the scars and some of the hurts and some of the pain. But
Yeah.
he don't understand a lot of it. He think it's just me bugging or me just being annoying or being a nuisance.
Yeah.
But it's just certain things I see in him that I know he got to be delivered from.
Well, you know what, and this is the thing, and thank you, Miss Janice. She referred to therapy counseling, right? And the reason why, and let me explain this, people. I don't, your son, right?
Hmm.
I don't want to delve too deep in somebody else's story. Let's put it this way, because I would love to dig deeper into that, but because we don't want to overstep our boundaries, and I don't want to overstep my boundaries, and I'm sure you don't as a father, right?
Hmm.
Because I'm sure whatever you've shared, he's comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about it, but Miss Janice hit it on the head with therapy counseling. That's important. But I think what's important, Sex Man, is that you keep communicating with him.
Yeah.
You see it. Let's not buy a new car to make it go away,
Yeah.
or give him money. You got to talk to him about it. And when
Yeah.
he's ready.
Yeah.
That the therapy counseling, he may decide to do that one day, right? But
Hmm.
until that time, you are doing the right thing, continuing
Yeah.
to keep the communication open, because you say you see it, he doesn't even see it.
Yeah.
Because I know I was in a place where I was broken, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you're not ready, but I will tell you, a parent's love, a godly parent's love, right, will just really help encourage you. So you're not giving up on your son or this young man, and he's going to deal with it. And God, because one day, Sex Man, it could be 2 years from now, could be 2 months from now.
Yeah.
But and men are different than women,
Yeah.
and how dealing with emotions and all of that. But but you got, like Miss Janice says, keep that communication open, and
Yeah.
you're doing the right thing, Sex Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, and communication is key. So I think that's very important, because you can't force him, because he
Yeah.
doesn't even see it in himself, right? That's what you
Yeah.
said. So that's important. And I just love that your children have such a good relationship.
Yeah.
Uh,
And even though my youngest 3 have been the ones that I you know primarily raised, it's like I love all 5 of them the same.
oh yeah,
And that's the thing. It's like I don't have no pickers and choosers and favorites.
yeah,
It's like I love them all, from the oldest to the youngest, the girls and the boy. They all the same, and I
yeah.
want them to feel that whenever we communicate. I want them to feel that. I don't want them to ever feel like I prefer one over the other, or
That's
love
right.
one more than the other. because that ain't true.
That's right. Well, I tell you, little Brooklyn, every time I see her winning, I'm like, Brooklyn, I need to get back on the track. I need to get back on the treadmill. Seriously, that little girl's in shape, okay?
Yeah.
And she's doing it. So, Brooklyn, and you need to let her know, and let me say this, Sax Man, hopefully you're showing her the love she's getting on Facebook, and you're letting her know many people are proud of her, not just Dad, but because every time, like, man, we're so proud of her. So you need to tell her we're proud of her.
Yeah, I do. I let her read the comments and everything.
Yeah.
And she at the track now running.
Yeah, I need to be with her. Let me speed the show. I need to meet her. She needs to train me. Anyway, Janice says sometimes we may think all is well with our children, but we just don't know what's weighing on their minds. That's why, Sax Man, you people, you got to keep the lines of communication open.
Yeah.
You got to keep the line of communication open. I love that. Sax Man, this is really good, this conversation. Any final words?
No, I'm glad, I appreciate all these opportunities because
absolutely.
Because I like, not only do I appreciate the platform to speak into other people's lives and to help others, but it's also therapy for me too.
That's good. That's good.
Yep.
And I'm so glad you've never felt judged. And then I can say, I don't think we have talked negatively about the mothers, right? No, I don't think we're just giving truth. Now, the truth is the truth. They were led by the flesh. Whatever happened. But we're not delving into, I don't believe we have talked negatively about the mothers because one day your kids might see this interview. Or what if the mothers see, you know what I mean? I don't know, but we're
my children know. They know I ain't never said nothing negative about their mamas, and also they know I would. I mean, it was a time I would have still got back with them regardless, just to get the family back together. So they know I don't have no problem with them.
Yeah, right. Sax Man, Janice wants to know. No, but I'm just glad. I think we can say that we're giving truth because we have to tell the truth. Right? Yeah. But I don't think there's been any bitterness because when I interview people, if they hadn't healed, you can clearly see it and hear it through the mic. You know what I mean? But, but yeah. Sax Man, Janice says, the Sax Man played the saxophone somewhere. She said, I would love to hear him sometime. He can play. Sax Man, we go way back, don't we?
Yeah, so.
Yes, we do. Where do you play, Sax Man?
Cause like my website is ebsax.com, www.ebsax.com.
Okay.
I got music and videos and stuff like that. And
now what's the website?
ebsax.com, www.ebsax.com. ebsax.
Okay. And then Miss Janice, I'm about to put this up here. Yeah. And I'm typing. And this has all your gigs and where you'll be performing and all that.
Well, it's just got all of my info about about me in videos and in audio samples and stuff, and my social media links and stuff. Because I don't really do a lot of public appearances and public performances. I do mostly the corporate and private stuff.
Yeah, but I'll be at an event and Sax Man is there. You know what I mean? But Sax Man doesn't really promote, hey, tonight I'll be at. But Sax Man making money. Can I say that? He don't promote. He don't every event. I'll be like, Sax Man, I didn't know you were gonna be here. Sax Man don't even promote. He's still making that money. That's all I'm saying, y'all. So go to his. No, seriously, Miss Janice. I'm like, what you doing here, Sax Man? And then sometimes we'll be talking so much, he's like, Don, I gotta go, I gotta play, I gotta make money. What you doing? Because I like to talk to you. But seriously, so Miss Janice, check him out or DM him. And yeah, that is awesome. And that's God. That's God. So Miss Janice, I have tagged Sax Man in this video, Edmond Baker Jr. He was tagged on the promo flyer. DM him and say, hey, where are you playing? Sometimes he plays private events. You don't play like the So like for instance, you don't play downtown at a regular venue or anything.
Like like Sambucas and Red Cat and all them, like Sky Bar. I don't do none of that stuff.
Okay.
They
Okay.
have bands and stuff, but I don't do none of that. I don't even play for like jazz festivals or nothing. It's mostly just corporate and private stuff.
That's a blessing. Would you ever add a
Yeah.
background singer?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, every now and then if somebody requests a vocalist, I have vocalists, or if they request a full band, like if it's an on-stage performance at a big
Hey.
fundraiser or something, I got people that I can work with. I'm mostly solo though.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Don't call me.
What
I wish I would be. No, go
you
ahead.
gonna be my backup singer?
I can find someone. I was just asking because you never know, right? But I'm sure you have your repertoire of talented artists.
Yeah,
Who
I
have
got
proven.
a lot of other artists in my network, but still, I'm always open for other people too, to connect
Okay.
with and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, Miss Janice is laughing. Seriously. Sax man, if I could sing, we would be the. I'm telling you, but God has given me the gift to speak it. Not to
you
sing
do
it.
it well. You do it
Yeah,
well.
so I'm in my lane, honey. I'm in my lane. But y'all sax man be playing that sax, and I'm like, oh, but I can't sing, and I shut up and let him do what he gonna do. Right, sax man? Now, any final word? Oh, Miss Janice says she can perform. Hey.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Now, final. Yes.
I just want to leave my for single fathers information.
And what is that?
Because it's www.forsinglefathers.org.
Okay. And this is for single fathers.
Yeah, forsinglefathers.org.
Okay. And look, and I'm putting this up too. And here we go, because we have to put this out here, right, Sex Man? You can find For Single Fathers at www.forsinglefathers.org. Wonderful stuff. Sax Man, brother, always a pleasure to have you. I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful Father's Day, brother.
Yep.
Yes.
I look forward to it. I'm probably going to be playing somewhere, but we always go somewhere afterwards.
Hey, you got to make that money, honey. That's right. And Miss Janice, thank you. She shared it as well. forsinglefathers.org. Absolutely. Sax Man, God bless you. You're never a stranger. You're always a friend of, even before I was the Dr. Don. He's a friend of Don Paul, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you ain't no the Dr. Don, just hey Don. He know what it is. But have a wonderful Father's Day weekend. And thank you, Sax Man.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yes. God bless you, brother. I tell y'all, don't go anywhere. The show will be going on till 10 o'clock. I'm here holding it down till 10. I'm here 7 to 10 Central Standard Time here on Raise the Praise 100. You see it scrolling. So make sure you keep listening at raisethepraise100.com. Community Corner is coming up. My 5 minutes of favor. I'm telling you, good stuff. Good stuff. God bless you, Sax Man. Thank you, brother.
All right.
All right. And Miss Janice says, Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Yeah.